First of all, dude, you don't have an ex. Second of all, this is a show dog with papers. You can't board it. It gets upset. Its hair falls out. It's a show dog with papers. I pour a good stout. So this is my review of Jaws. I give Jaws 4 stars. 4 stars. If you want to know more, then just keep watching because I'm going to keep going. Okay? This is a book that is possibly more misunderstood than sharks themselves. First of all, a lot of people think this is a novelization of the movie. No. This book was written first, and then Spielberg had his way with the material and made a movie, which became the first summer blockbuster. So there's that history. Secondly, Peter Benchley did not make sharks into monsters. Yes, the shark is obviously going to eat a human being, but if you read the book, the shark is not given a malevolent sort of will. It's not portrayed as evil. There's a lot of research that went into it. There's a lot of explaining that perhaps the shark is just, nobody understands why the shark's there, but they're like, no, it doesn't operate on revenge. No, it doesn't hunt humans. It doesn't become addicted to human meat. It's just silly to put all those things. So there's a scientist in the book who conveys all these things to the readers, that the shark, shouldn't be, it's weird that the shark is in the water off the coast of this particular part of the world at this particular time of the year. They don't really understand why it's happening. They're trying to come to terms with it, but they're not writing it off as, oh, it's evil. There's no supernatural element. It's just a vicious, unfortunate thing that happens to a community. But it's how the community deals with it that makes the book so damn interesting. So this shark is in the water off the coast of Amity, this summer beach community. And it's just there, right? So it starts attacking people. It attacks a couple of people. Gives the residents a little pause, a little concern, a little fear about being in the water. But the shark is just, who knows what's driving the shark? It's instinct, it's impulse. But the people in the story are just as impulsive, just as instinctive. In my reading of this book, the people are no better than the shark. They're just as prone to instincts and drives and emotional, impulsive decisions as perhaps a feeding animal. It's really interesting. There's a subtext there. But there's also another subtext of being out of place. The shark doesn't belong in the water. Ellen doesn't, Brody's wife doesn't belong in this beach community. She's not a year-round resident. She's more of the upper-class elitist group who just summer there. Brody doesn't belong in the water because he's terrified of sharks, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of elements of being out of place. And at its heart, though, if you don't want to give it that literary lens and give it a critical theory sort of reading, and you just want to enjoy it, at heart, it's just a thriller, a page-turner, a fun read, and very interesting. I know that there's a famous quote that Spielberg, when he read the book, he was rooting for the shark because he didn't like any of the characters. I didn't feel that way. I think the characters are all complex, and they have issues and they have problems, but don't we all, And the hero is a complicated figure. All these characters. For example, the mayor, he goes through a transformation from a bad guy to sort of sympathetic guy. It's interesting. It's really, I just recommend you read it, and if you want to blame anybody for making sharks these supernatural revenge-seeking beasts and terrors, then just blame Spielberg. He was making a movie, and movies are sensational, and he cut it down to its basest components, and he drove those home, and he put together a film that worked, that grabbed a country and a world by its imagination, and got everybody looking at the water a little different, a little more fearfully, got people wondering, is our place at the top of the food chain guaranteed? Not all the time. That's another theme of being out of place. Humans are not at the top of the food chain, man. Your technology doesn't matter when you're in over your head in the water. And your superior brain doesn't matter when that primal killing machine is hungry. So, anyway, I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun reading this. I chewed it up in like 5 days. Pun intended. Totally intended. I think everybody should just explore this work and understand that these are more dangerous than these. So anyway, till next time, stay out of the shark's house, is how I would say it, and stay frosty. Look, I don't know why I framed my review that way, where it looks like I'm trying to crawl through the camera. I don't know why. It appeared weird to me too, but we're just going to move on. And I don't know what's going on with my hair either. So let's just agree to move on and just enjoy the review for what it was and maybe watch something else.